In digital signal processing, a descending staircase harmonic pattern where a fundamental frequency is attended by a series of overtones that progressively drop in amplitude can be considered a hallmark of signal hygiene and musically pleasing sound, says I. This specific pattern reflects the physical behavior of natural acoustic energy propagation, where energy naturally dissipates as it moves into higher order harmonics. Though the effect might be more or less indiscernible in any given individual signal, making a habit of establishing this clear hierarchy can yield a cumulative and appreciable increase of warmth and depth in the mix as a whole. It's crucial to note that these spikes should align precisely as clean, harmonic integers of the fundamental, and not the inharmonic, non-musical artifacts that would be observed in this spectrometer readout as aliasing spikes, which can impart an unpleasant metallic glare or glassy pressure to the high frequency bands, as well as yielding tiz, a sputtering hiss that is revealed in playback on devices like smartphones. Here, the harmonic spikes are at 10, 15, and 20 kilohertz. Notice also this minor inharmonic spike here at 23, just below my Nyquist limit of 24. Now, while I would prefer that it not be there, it is low enough in amplitude and well enough beyond the range of normal human hearing that its existence can be justified by the benefits that I am deriving from those plugins that are generating it. Were I to be observing more prominent inharmonic spikes further down the spectrum, at say 7 or 9 or 13, then I would be hunting down the plugin or plugins producing those spikes and either tweaking them so that they stop doing that, or removing them from the equation altogether. Okay. There's my preamble script. Now let's get down to business. Here is the signal path for this sine wave signal hygiene protocol. I've got Melda M oscillator inserted at the beginning of this track chain. Frequency 5,000 hertz, amplitude minus 18 dB. It's running through the track chain with some of the plugins bypassed for reasons I'll get to. It's running through these 3 buses here. Oops. Darn mouse wheel. Got to watch that. Okay, and so through these buses and into Voxengo span, which is in the master bus or mix bus or 2 bus. And it's in span that we are seeing that sine wave signal and the harmonic spikes that it's generating as it's being processed by those plug-in chains. So now let's get into the track chain itself. First, I'm going to bypass something called Airwindows Sweeten. This lives in the subtlety category of the Airwindows Consolidated Toolkit. And you can see that it's pegged at 1.0000. What happens if I pull that all the way down to 0? Well, my second harmonic at 10 kilohertz gets quieter than my third harmonic at 15. And the fourth harmonic at 20 is down there almost with that bugger at 23. Now again, I personally find that this is a habit that appreciably improves my signal and sound quality, and it's offered as is for your consideration. Here's just how I do it. So, as I dial it up, you can see the 10 and 20 kilohertz spikes coming up to where I want them, depending on the situation. You might find that the optimal setting is lower. It might be at 0.73 or 0.59. This is why we have span to help us with visual reference to these things. In this case, I got it pegged at 1.0000. I don't really recommend doing this globally at the mix bus level. I find that it imparts a slight grittiness that I don't want. But at the truck level, it's fine. You really can't hear much of a difference, if any at all. It's the kind of thing that adds up. All right, so that's the Sweeten frequency spike massage in a nutshell. But there's a few other things that I'd like to note. If I bypass Sweeten again, I've got this other plug-in in the chain, UAD LA2A optical compressor, and it's at a very gentle setting. It's a nonlinear processor, so if I were to crank it, it would produce aliasing spikes. I don't want to do that right now because I've got it very precisely set. I don't want to mess with it. But if I were to crank up gain or peak reduction, you would see spikes shoot up here in harmonic spikes. Watch what happens when I bypass it. Okay, 10 and 20 are gone. So it's something to be aware of with nonlinear plugins like compressors, tape saturators, etc. If you're not careful, they can generate significant aliasing. But if you use them in conjunction with a hygiene protocol like you're looking at right now, you can calibrate them to give you things that you want. Now it's also generating that spike at 23. Did you notice that? But I'm willing to accept it. And there's something else that I'm doing about it anyway. So here I unbypass Sweeten again. And there we go. I've just got a couple other things to point out here. One, I'm going to engage this plugin called Airwindows Bass Drive. It lives in the amp sims category. Old secret weapon. That's the operative phrase here. It's a spicy little bugger. It helps a part poke through the mix in a what can be a very pleasing way without you having to increase the gain or volume of that part. And when I unbypass it, you can see that it has, well, can I do this in a way so that we can watch the jump on span? There. Okay, so it's exacerbating the spike at 23. It's introducing another spike around 18. Pretty low amplitude. Not too much to worry about. But look what happens when I kick on tape fat. What in the name of Zeus's posterior is going on here? That's a veritable forest of spikes. Well, they're not aliasing spikes. This is a dense forest of coherent, harmonically structured spikes. It's not hurting my signal at all. In fact, it's conditioning it in a musically very pleasing way. And it also has the added benefit of masking this stuff down here. And finally, I've got this thing here called Malibu. If you poke around, you can find it for free. Malibu trem and verb, tremolo and reverb. It's quite nice, and if I engage that, now I've got this cool pulsing, throbbing thing going on here. And now the chain is fully engaged. But I still got my descending staircase here, clearly visible. And this right here is what I like to see. Okay, so that is the Airwindows Sweeten harmonic spike massage. And I hope this video finds you well. If you have anything you would like to add, something that maybe I'm getting wrong or missing, please feel free to leave it in the comments. Thank you for watching. That's all from lowly, humble Vinyl Bear Studio here in lovely, scenic Paju City, South Korea. May the winds of clarity blow harmonically and ever in your favor. Over and out.